but some things that I captured on my notes is embracing attachment awareness in your relationships can help you navigate the challenges with greater insight and empathy as well as resilience. With a romantic partner, friendships, or professional connections, cultivating awareness of your attachment pattern empowers you to foster deeper understanding, connection, and healing in your relationships. Good morning. Welcome to the Conscious Courage Podcast and happy Sing It With Me Motivational Monday. I am your host, Davone'a Tashae. I meet with you all every Monday at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to provide practical steps toward our inner healing journey, or what I've coined internal glow up. So whether you're here for the first time or returning, I thank you for tuning in. The team and I are so grateful to every subscriber via YouTube, every listener on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, as well as Spotify, and every IGU babe out there who is keeping up with us via social media at CC Podcast with DT. Y'all are locked in and we are too hype that you're here. Ensure that you listen through to the end of this episode to receive your practical steps. And also, here's an announcement, y'all. We are seeking 100 downloads via the audio streaming platforms I just mentioned by 1 July 2024. So get out there, listen, download, like, subscribe, all of the things. Okay, let's dive into today's episode. And today, episode 9, we are deep diving into navigating relationship challenges through attachment awareness. Reminder, for the month of May, we have explored the 4 attachment styles. In episode 6, we learned of those 4 attachment styles as they are identified in psychological research, and those are secure attachment, anxious, preoccupied attachment, dismissive, avoidant attachment, and fearful, avoidant attachment. As mentioned in this episode, we are exploring navigating relationship challenges through attachment awareness. Y'all, relationships can be complex and challenging, okay, in every aspect. But by cultivating awareness of our attachment patterns and understanding how they impact our interactions, we can navigate challenges with greater insight, compassion, as well as resilience. If you can't tell, we like resilience here. So understanding awareness. Attachment awareness involves recognizing our attachment styles that we've been exploring this entire month of May, which influence the way that we relate to others and respond to relationship dynamic. By becoming aware of our attachment patterns, we can gain insight into our behaviors, emotions, and rationale and relational needs, paving the way for more fulfilling and harmonious relationships. Harmonious, as I mentioned, you think about harmony and then you think about being together, but the true definition is marked by agreement in feeling, attitude, or action, okay? It's forming a pleasingly consistent whole. We want to be whole. I just want to make sure that my definition or understanding of a word isn't limited or too far left from what the word truly means. So had the dictionary.com, that bad boy for y'all. Okay, here we go. We will navigate a few examples on how we can identify these challenging. With all that said, the following 3 examples are how you can navigate through relationship challenges with an understanding of attachment awareness, or by understanding attachment awareness. I think that's what I want to say. So example number 1 is identifying triggers and patterns. This is imperative. We need to pay attention to the recurring patterns and triggers that arise in our relationships. Notice how certain situations or interactions evoke strong emotional responses and reflect on the underlying attachment dynamic at play. By identifying your triggers and patterns, you can begin to understand their origins and how they impact your relationship. So I'll give an example here. Ad break. Are you seeking an electrifying speaker to ignite transformation in your audience? Well, look no further. Hi, I'm Davone'a Tashae, real estate investor, Air Force veteran, and host of the Conscious Courage podcast, where new episodes are released every Monday, 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time via YouTube and all streaming audio platforms. I specialize in delivering impactful keynote speeches that inspire change and elevate your minds. Whether it's a virtual gathering or an in-person event, I bring passion, expertise, and a unique delivery to every arena or every environment that I'm in. Let's captivate your audience together and create an unforgettable experience. Contact me today to book your next event, and let's embark on this journey of transformation, or let's get all of your attendees on this journey toward internal glow up. You can book me via my website by going to www.davoneatashae.com. I'll spell that for you. It is www.DAV as in Victor, ONEATASHAE.com. I look forward to connecting with you. Take care. I was in a course, and because my experience in the course was anytime I wanted to provide information, input, participate, I was always shut down. It made me become mute, not literally, but I just chose not to speak, rarely ever. And then 2, if I did say something and then someone rebutted, I was in a position, or I don't want to use the word feel. I'm trying to think of a different word because that's not, people tune out when you say, well, I feel, right? But in those situations, I'm like, okay, well now I need to rebuttal back or have almost a wall of defense. And I noticed what the trigger was. Well, this person is trying to shut me down yet again, or this is another scenario where I am being shut down again. And I'm like, nope, not this time. And so I was responding from an emotional place of, you will hear me, or my voice does matter, or not this time. And maybe that person wasn't necessarily intending to shut me down, but that was my perception based off of the prior experiences. And with the prior experience, then I would trigger a thought, oh my goodness, they're seeking to shut me down again. Then there's an emotional response of not this time. And then there's a reaction of, well, that's not what I meant. That's not what I said, whatever the case may be. Or there could be like a shifting in body language or something of the sorts. But I just want to throw in an example right there so to like paint the picture. That might look different for others. This can show up in romantic relationships, work relationships. This can show up with parent to child relationships. Like, it can show up in a myriad of ways. I just gave that one example. Example number 2 that we're going to go into is communicating effectively. So you want to practice open and honest communication with your partner, friends, or family members about your attachment needs and concerns. Share your insights from attachment awareness work and invite them to join you in exploring how your attachment styles intersect and influence your relationship dynamics. And if your family is like, what are you talking about when you say attachment styles, send them the link to the Conscious Courage podcast and tell them to watch the episodes, 6 through 9. I'm missing an episode. Am I missing? 6, 7, 8, 9. No, I'm right. Okay. And they can learn all about attachment styles. By fostering this dialogue with them, you can deepen your understanding and strengthen your connection in relationships. All right, y'all. Number 3, setting boundaries and prioritizing self-care. I love self-care. I don't think I've really done a whole spiel on it, but I love self-care. Okay. Establish healthy boundaries to protect your emotional well-being and honor your needs and limits in relationships. Be assertive in communicating your boundaries with clarity and compassion. Prioritize self-care practices that nourish your mind, your body, and your spirit. I may have a month dedicated to self-care for both men and women, because this podcast is for everyone. All right. Yes, as the host, I am a female, and I bring all the female vibes, from the outfits to the colors on the announcements and everything. But I'm really a tomboy. And so I don't want to leave out the men. I I resonate with sports and I resonate with, I don't know, I guess that's really it. You know what I mean? Like taking care of business and handling stuff. So I want to ensure that I never leave the men out. So yeah, maybe I'll find a month in this year before the year concludes to go over self-care and dedicate some information or best practices, common practices, something like that for y'all. What do you think about that? Send me a message. You know, I'm all for communicating and receiving your input. We're doing this together. We're on this journey together. If you have an input or an idea, don't hesitate to send a direct message via the social media platforms at CC Podcast with DT, or sending an email to Davone at DavoneaTashae.com. All right, y'all, we're going to transition on into real world examples of navigating relationship challenges through attachment awareness. I try and give y'all all of the examples so you can walk away with an understanding. So example number 1 is conflict resolution. Sarah and James have been experiencing frequent conflict in their relationship, often triggered by misunderstanding and unresolved emotional wounds. Through their commitment to attachment awareness, they've learned to recognize their individual attachment patterns and how they contribute to their conflicts. So what do? They employ practicing active listening and validation. They've also been able to navigate their differences with greater understanding and compassion. This strengthens their bond in the process. Y'all, these names that I'm giving are all made up. So if you're Sarah and you're James, nothing to you. These are made up names. Like, I'm not talking about anyone in particular, okay? Respectfully. Here is an example of some parenting challenges. So we have David and Emily, and they are navigating the challenges of co-parenting after their divorce. Despite their differences, they're committed to fostering a secure attachment environment for their children. So what do? Or what does this look like? They attend co-parenting counseling and they apply the attachment awareness principles. So they've learned how to communicate effectively, prioritize their children's well-being, and co-create a supportive and nurturing co-parenting relationship. I think that's really on par with what I see and what I've heard in the world today as it pertains to co-parenting. Example number 3 is workplace dynamics. Michael is facing challenges with his manager, who tends to be dismissive and critical in their interactions. Through his exploration of attachment awareness, Michael has come to realize that his manager behavior triggers feelings of insecurity and inadequacy rooted in his anxious, preoccupied attachment style. And where can we learn about the anxious, preoccupied attachment style? Episode 6, where we dive into the 4 various attachment styles out there. So good. Don't you just love how all the episodes intertwine with one another? Love it. Now, armed with his awareness, Michael has sought support from a mentor and developed strategies for assertive communication and boundary setting in the workplace, leading to improved professional relationships and job satisfaction. Example number 4. Friendship struggles. We've been there. We experienced them. Here we go. Let's look at Rachel and Lily. So Rachel and Lily have been friends for years, but lately they've been experiencing tension and misunderstanding in their friendship. By delving into attachment awareness together, they've uncovered underlying patterns of fear and avoidance that have been affecting their communication and connection. But through open and honest communications, they've been able to address their concerns, set healthier boundaries, and strengthen their friendship with greater empathy and understanding. That's good. Because you don't want a lifelong friendship to end based off of X, fill in the X. Now, example number 5, romantic relationship challenges. Here we go. We got Alex and we have Maya. They have been in a romantic relationship for a while, but they've been struggling with issues of trust and intimacy. Through their exploration of attachment awareness, they've discovered how their respective attachment styles contribute to their relationship dynamics. By practicing vulnerability and emotional openness. We talked about cultivating vulnerability. All right, y'all. We spoke about that in episode 4. That was several episodes ago. You can lean in on that. They've been able to deepen their connection and create a more secure and fulfilling relationship bond. How beautiful. This is the yummy good part, the practical steps. I get excited about the practical steps. So practical step number 1, reflect on your attachment patterns. Take time to explore your own attachment style and how it influences your relationships. Notice any recurring patterns or triggers that arise in your interactions with others. In case you're wondering, like, well, what is a trigger? What is this? What is that? Stay tuned. I don't know what month yet, but before the year is out, I will take a deep dive into triggers and like just having an understanding of that. So this is why you have to stick around, subscribe, tune in, like, and all of the things so that you don't miss anything. I don't have the schedule completely built out for the year. I have several months built out, not every month. So one of these months will be about triggers. You can bet on that. Practical step number 2 is practice open communication. So foster open and honest communication with your loved ones about your attachment needs and concerns. Share your insights from attachment awareness work and invite them to join you in how attachment styles intersect. I would encourage you, if you haven't already, listen to episode 6 because yes, as I've mentioned a few times in this episode, we explore the 4 attachment styles, but I also provide a link that is free where you can go and take a quiz, or it's not a quiz, like a survey. You have several questions that you answer. At the end, your attachment styles are produced. And it's something that you can share with your loved ones, and you all can go on this journey together of understanding. You can also share with your children and get some more insight on your attachment styles. And practical step number 3 is you want to prioritize the self-care and boundaries, establishing healthy boundaries to protect your emotional well-being and honor your needs in a relationship. You want to prioritize self-care practices that nourish your mind, body, and spirit, as well as seek support from trusted friends, family members, or professionals when needed. That looks different for everyone. A self-care routine that I love is lighting candles. I love the aroma, and also taking really deep, soaking, relaxing baths. And I've seen this evident and true for men as well. Self-care could look like getting off of social media, picking a day, another self-care item or action that I take. I have not been able to since being in the military course I was in, but transitioning back into my standard life is one day out of the week, aside from going to work, I will not do anything related to school, podcasting, like nothing. It is my day to do me. I don't own a TV, so I won't watch TV necessarily, but I may go home and simply go to bed. I may plan a massage for that day. I may just take a couple deep breaths and pull up a YouTube video or something. It's just my detached day, my day where I give my mind, body, and soul rest. So I'll leave that with you as an example. Another example for men is exploring something new to do. I know someone who took on pickleball or golfing, maybe trying a new activity or sport, going out, being intentional, hanging out and having like man time where you just hang out with your bros, with your brothers, with your man friends. So just a couple examples on how you can impart self-care, and then having those boundaries. Those boundaries look like saying no. If you're someone who always says yes, having the ability to say no. I know like a female friend of mine, she wanted to catch up one day, and it was during the week while I'm in this course, and I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna have time because like we're moving and it's rampant, but how about we catch up on Saturday? And Saturday, we both had our own things going on. So then I followed up and we were able to chit chat for an hour plus on Sunday. So having that ability to pace yourself, say no, those boundaries in place really allow for you to stay charged up and show up as your most whole self. And that's what the goal is. I've said all that just from me to you. But some things that I captured on my notes is embracing attachment awareness in your relationships can help you navigate the challenges with greater insight and empathy, as well as resilience. With a romantic partner, friendships, or professional connections, cultivating awareness of your attachment pattern empowers you to foster deeper understanding, connection, and healing in your relationships. A few announcements, y'all. As you've heard in the introduction, and if you follow us on social media platforms at CC Podcast with DT, as well as on Facebook or via YouTube at the Conscious Courage Podcast, and on all streaming platforms at the Conscious Courage Podcast, then you already know we are available via audio. Yes. I mentioned it in the introduction, but I also wanted to re-emphasize it here. And that is, you can find the Conscious Courage Podcast on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. So while you're out working out, okay, taking your children to school, walking around your house, cleaning, you're warming up for that local basketball game at the gym or at the park, wherever the case may be, you can also continue to work on your mental and your emotional health by listening to the soothing voice of Davone'a Tashae in your ear. I mean, you could just listen to the Conscious Courage Podcast anywhere, anytime. You can always experience this vibe. I would also encourage you to download by that way. For example, let's say you're traveling. It's time to take flight. You're on a flight. You don't have internet connection, but you have the episode downloaded. You can still listen. All right, transitioning into announcement number 2. You can journey over to my website at www.davoneatashae.com. That is www.davoneatashae.com to learn more about me, but more importantly, inquire via my contact form ways to work with, rather in person or virtually, with your girl. Yes, y'all, I'm so excited. I can bring this energy to you live. So mosey on over to my website, explore it, learn more about me, my journey, see some photos from way back when on until now, and contact me. Let's work. And work. Okay, y'all. Last but not least, the Conscious Courage Podcast is moving. Yes, we're moving. I'm so grateful to the Sun Studio based out in Wichita Falls, Texas. And this is not a paid advertisement. Simply want to share my gratitude for setting up the studio in a way that has been so pleasing and graceful, and allowing me to embark on this official podcast journey using their facility. So I thank you all with my whole heart. Yet we're transitioning, and the transformational content is still coming to you. The only difference will be the background and the couch, but the content is the same. I'm still your lovely host, and the team will still be providing you with the best of the best content, y'all. So stick around, but expect a shift in the month of June. Thank you for tuning in today's episode of the Conscious Courage Podcast. If you enjoyed today's discussion and you want to continue this journey together, be sure to subscribe to the podcast, leave a review, like, as well as share with at least 3 to 5 people, y'all. It's only 4 things that I'm asking of you. And I greatly appreciate your support. Until next time, stay courageous, conscious, and keep growing from within. Remember, it takes courage to be conscious, and courage is the key to conscious living. I love you all. Until next time, see you next week. Disclaimer: as a content creator with a background in psychology and ongoing studies in mental health at the graduate level, it's important to clarify that I am not a licensed professional. The videos and podcasts I produce are intended for educational, information, entertainment, and transformational purposes only. While I strive to provide accurate information and insight, it's essential to consult with a licensed mental health professional for clinical perspectives and personalized advice tailored to your specific needs. Your mental well-being is of the utmost importance, and seeking guidance from a qualified provider is encouraged for any concern or issues that you may be experiencing.